Well, good morning, flockers. How is everybody doing today? I have something cool today, which is a tripod. I'm just going to see here if I can clip myself into the tripod and actually aim it at Max. I think Max is over here somewhere. There's Max. All right. What do you think, Max? Yeah, we've got Tico out here as well. Is that secure in there? Apologies if you're getting my hands in this shot. I just want to see if I can get slightly better video for you guys, which is why I picked up the tripod. So we've got Tico in the shot, we've got Max in the shot. I think that's about level. So I just did things a little bit backwards here. I'm actually going to pull this out here for a minute. And I'm going to swap direction. Oopsies, come on, swap direction. Where are we? There we go, that's better. Okay. Now let's try and put this back into the tripod. Okay, Max? And we're not going to hit any of the buttons when we do so. There you go, Max. I can see you now. That's pretty cool. So, trying to use a lesson here from what I see Einstein doing on the live stream, where Einstein has a secondary device that they use to check out what's happening and follow the comments on the streams. So, just getting myself set up on that right now. I know I am a little bit slow this morning, aren't I? But Max, what do you have to say? Are you excited? So, Max, has anybody told you that I brought breakfast out here for you? So I've got a lovely, lovely bowl, and you can take a pick. Okay. So what Max has got right now is an omelet, well, a microwave omelet that has peas and corn and, of course, his absolute favorite, eggies. So I think he's going to really enjoy that. Yeah, he's making a little bit of a mess. That is the nature of a parrot. Parrots make messes. So, is that good, Betty? Yeah, it's actually quite nice outside today. Yeah, it's actually quite nice outside today. And that was kind of cool. So my secondary device forgot to turn off the volume. So, I mean, I did say it was nice out. It could be a bit warmer out here, but that's okay. It's warm enough that the birds can be out. Is that good? Reach in. Is that the piece you want? Yeah, take. Warm enough to be out on the patio with the entire flock. And I'm going to see here if I can adjust a little bit so you can see Tico in the shot. Tico's in the shot here. So yeah, so we got Tico right here, and he's also got a bowl full of yummies, so he's going to hang out with us too. Now, as you guys know, Tico is not a huge fan of the camera, so we will try and keep it centered somewhat on Max. So, hey, lots of comments. Maria's here. Hello, Maria. Glad to see you. Have you got your new addition to your family yet? And Reggie's here. Assez-vous says, what gorgeous weather. Swap side for a windy, cold, gray day in England. Assez-vous, we have had our share of chillier days already. Fall's here. Leaves are beginning to turn on the trees. There's not many days that we're going to be back out on the patio. But we'll take advantage of the nice weather when it's here. Hi, Pie Girl. Hi, Joy. Joy, so glad to see you. I'm sure Max has got a box for you, but of course that'll be after his beak fist. Yeah, there's my arm reaching out with a whole bowl full so Max can get his choice. Yeah, Tico is minding his own bird nest. Tico's quite happy just hanging out on his own. Once Max has had a good beak fist, I will ask him if he wants to give us a balk. Right now he wants to pose on the top of his chair. Yeah, so it is great to see every birdie joining us. What do you think, Tico? A motorcycle. Yeah, that is. That is. So guys, tell me, what do you think of it with a tripod? Is that better for you guys? Give me a thumbs up. Throw me some hearts. Put in a comment. Let me know, what do you think? Do you like having a tripod available for the streams? Does this improve the experience for you guys? Let me know in the comments or just by throwing up some hearts. Another piece, buddy? Yeah? Oh, that's a good piece. Yeah, and I have got my coffee out here. I'm definitely going to be enjoying that while the flock is having their beak fest. Hello. Yeah, Max, people walking past. It is pretty exciting. Always exciting to see the people walk past. So let's take us down. Whoops. And I'm already tripping my tripod. So we're going to take the tripod over for a minute. And I'm going to try and adjust it without hitting any buttons. And shift over a little bit more. There you guys. There is Tico. He's just hanging out in the sun, giving me a little bit of the evil eye because he is not a huge fan of having a camera pointed at him. Now, if you've been following this week, you'll know that Tico had a very exciting week. He had the first palm of the season. And first night, he took a look at it. And he does not like to start squash a pumpkin at night. He'll look at them. He'll be territorial about them, but he might nibble a little bit at the stem, but he doesn't get started until the next morning. He saves them, which I always find is quite fascinating to watch. So the pum, next morning I came down to get my coffee. He had not started eating his pumpkin yet. I sort of woke him up by accident when I walked in. And, so said good morning to him, went about boiling some water to make some coffee. And Tico wandered down. No, Tico, you can't have any of my coffee. Tico wandered over, started nibbling on the stem of the pumpkin and a little bit on the flesh. And by the time I'd made my coffee, he had eaten the stem and had carved a beautiful heart in the pumpkin, which I thought was just adorable. And, I went upstairs to do some work, left Tico to his own devices. By noon, he'd already entered the inner chamber of the pum and had found some seeds. Then he started napping and took it easy the rest of the day. Did a little bit more nibbling. This morning, he's gone after the top of the pumpkin to make another hole for the inner chamber. I told him that he can't have a new pumpkin every day, but there is a fresh pumpkin sitting downstairs waiting for him. And I just took up the big 20-pound carving pumpkins. I washed them well, and then I basically serve fresh. I don't cook them. I don't cut them. Tico's quite capable with his beak breaking into things. And let's switch back and check on Max. Well, there's some Max beat. And there's Max. All right, buddy. You still hungry? You want some more? Oh, yeah, another piece of egg. That stuff's pretty good. Now, speaking of Tico and Tico's beak, I had bought a foraging toy for Tico. It was one of the wheel ones, and it was actually an improved version of one that's been out for a while, and it's intended for large birds. Tico, medium-sized bird. Well, Tico looked at the thing, watched it from afar for a couple of days. I noticed it had a glossy sticker on the front, and being a good parrot owner, I walked up to the glossy sticker and I peeled it off. Now that sticker came off super easy. I mean, I just caught it at the edge with my fingernail, peeled it right off, no problem. Well, the sticker came off the glue. The glue, however, did not come off the acrylic toy. No problem. So rubbed it a little bit, decided it needed soak, used the vinegar water dish soap trick. That one didn't work. Scrubbed it a little bit. That didn't work. Put it in the freezer to see if freezing the adhesive would help. That didn't work. You're beginning to sense a little bit of a trend here, I'm sure. That good, bud? Then I started looking at things. I looked at orange oil. I looked at acetone. I looked at Gooby Gone. At this point, I had really declared war on this sticker, on this thing. It was still sticky, and it was not something I was willing to give the birds, but I did need to remove it. So it took forever to remove. It was actually kind of funny. I mean, the war on the sticker, and the sticker almost won. So finally got the sticker off. The front acrylic by this point, especially since I'd scraped at it and I had tried scrubbing at it, now has it's slightly opaque, network fine scratches, doesn't impact it at all. I mean, the way this thing's constructed is pretty cool. It's built so that the clip holding it together is at the back and cannot be accessed by curious beaks. It had a front thing where you could spin the front and disassemble completely for easy washing. I mean, fantastic design, right? So I showed Tico, and Tico wasn't too sure. Put it in his cage, filled it up with sunny seeds. If you know Tico and his sunny seeds, he loves his sunny seeds. He was quite eager about the sunny seeds. A little bit more? Okay, you're done. He was eager about the sunny seeds, quite happy to see them. And he just was not too sure about the toy. So eventually, I popped a piece of oatmeal cookie in there. And I mean, this is absolutely irresistible for Tico. And it was such open top, and he sort of looked at me and just gave me the evil eye. I picked him up, held him over where the opening was, and he went, oh, this is the way these things work. It's got nutriberries, it's got sunny seeds, it has that oatmeal cookie. So we enjoyed that. And I left him to his own devices. He wasn't too sure about it. He was standing on the opposite side from the opening, and he reached out and discovered that the front of it rotated. Great. He's figuring this thing out. So, minding my own business, letting him play with this toy, I look back at Tico to see what's going on, and I think that looks odd. Sure enough, Tico had popped the front off of the toy, the foraging toy, and the first thing I thought is, you know what? I obviously didn't clip the thing together right, so took it apart, checked it over, no damage to it, reclipped it, and I mean, the front off of it, great theory, Tico. You had access to all of the chambers at once. Greedy Guts here got quite a snack out of the deal. Popped a little bit more food into it, reassembled it, triple checked it, attached it to the cage. Walked away. He walked over. I heard the click as he turned it. Then I heard a rattle. He repositioned himself on the cage. He's here munching. So I walked over to check. He'd popped the front of it off again. Sure enough, this toy that was built for large parrots, you know, had an easy way in. You just had to rotate the front. Tico was very smart. He figured out that brute forcing it was the best way to get all of the treat at once. So Tico, needless to say, not going to be getting this foraging toy back. And I'm going to try it with Max, but Max is not great with foraging toys. Sometimes putting food in a different location in his cage will confuse him, and he will be complaining he's hungry, not understanding the food's right there. With the rest? Okay. So Max is definitely king of the castle today. I think he's kind of enjoying himself. People on a bicycle, buddy. Yeah, so let's check out a few of the comments here. I will post up a little bit more about the toy. I think I'll make a video about it. It was pretty funny. I didn't expect Tico to brute force the front off of it. And I mean, Tico's pretty small for the toy. You know, it's built for larger birds, but Tico, you know, he's not intimidated by a full palm. He's not going to be intimidated by being able to rip the front off of a toy to get the food inside. Maria's talking about her new bird and saying because of COVID-19, she's not sure when he'll be able to come home. Well, Maria, we're thinking about you, wishing you the best of luck. Please keep us posted on what's happening. Yes, it's definitely nice feeling the wind under the wings. I see Kathy's joining us. Yes, Maria, I did post Tico with the pumpkin on Insta. He was loving that pump. Tico is definitely the pumpkin king. He's been named that on Twitter a couple of years ago. The first year that Tico ever saw a pumpkin, not last year, but the year before, he took to it. He really took to it. And he earned the name Pumpkin King. He earned that title just by destroying the most pumpkins and being fearless. You know, he's willing to defend that title. Any comers, he will defend. So what was up there, buddy? It's the roof of the house. Is there something interesting up there? Yeah? Yeah. Maria says, Pumpo Tico, definitely. Hi, Shirley. Yes, Shirley, Tico is definitely a bit of an artist. He's very intelligent. He understands the way of the world. He understands the way to manipulate his world. You know, he knows how to open up cages. The reason why, if I flip the camera for a minute over to, let's see if I can get the hang of rotating this over to his cage, you'll notice that I've got these clips on his cage. The reason for the clips on his cage are so that if he undoes the opening, that's going to keep the door locked and keep him from an easy escape. He is a bit of a Houdini, but he does understand that he's not supposed to open things. Sometimes, though, it's a little bit too tempting. Are you whistling for us, Tico? I saw it too. A bird flew overhead. Tico's usually pretty quiet and shy, so it's kind of cool sometimes to hear him whistling and interacting with the world. A minute ago, if you heard that chirp, that is his robin chirp. Back in the house, used to have a nest of robins, always choosing an area over top of an outside light to build their nest. And Tico got very good at speaking robin. Yeah. Do you miss your robins, Tico? Oh, was there a fly bothering you? You tell him. You tell him to go right away. Okay, Tico. I'm going to come back up And over to the bird of the hour. And there is Max. He's getting a little bit more into chitter chatter. He's coming over to check out the tripod a little bit. Let me move it back a little bit. I know I don't have a lot of room here. Max, are you in focus right now? Yeah. It's time for your close-up. Yeah. Hey, Max, is it time for your close-up? Time for a little bit of a preen? It's pretty cool. Max, do you have a balk for us today? Do you have a balk? That's right. Did you know that your friend Joy is watching you? Yes. As is your friend Maria and Shirley and Kathy, Pie Girl, Connie, Reggie, and a whole bunch of others. And they are all waiting for a really, really good balk. Not just a half a balk, but a full balk. Can you balk? Hi, Max. They all said hi, Max, to you already. You know. Can you... Max. Yeah, they're sending you scritchies, too. Yeah, really good little scritchy there. Yeah, that feels good, I bet. That feels really good. Uh-huh. Max, can we get a buck? Max. Hi, Max. Buck. There you go. I'm sure my neighbors think I'm insane. Because I'm probably the only human who walks around here occasionally clucking like a chicken. Hi, Max. What's your name? That's right, Max. Maxwell. Yeah? Here. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Max. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Christine. Christine says hi and sends you a heart, Max. Rhonda's here, too. Vous suggests maybe an Einstein pumpkin battle. Chico is absolutely up for all comers with the pumpkin. I'd actually like to challenge every birdie on here to a pumpkin carving contest. Either you or your parent give them a whole pumpkin or give yourself a whole pumpkin and see what you can come up with. This could be kind of fun. We might actually do a prize with it too. So what do you guys think? Pumpkin carving contest? Is that fun? Christine says that she loves you in your harness, Max. Yes, your harness is very, very elegant. It's a little bit powdery right now, but he loves wearing it, and it definitely keeps him safe while he's outside, which is important. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Shirley. Shirley, I have to apologize. My French is definitely not up to par, but we definitely enjoy being outside in the sun. I think that's what you had commented. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Joy. Max, of course, balked for you. Oh, that was a magpie overhead. Don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a bit of shadow that went right over top of Max's head. And speaking of which, maybe we can get just a little bit more of Max in the shot. Is that better? Yeah, it's going to take a little while to get used to the new setup with the tripod, but I think it will improve some of the video that we're getting. Yes, Reggie, so glad to see you live as well. So sad you weren't able to visit Canada too. You know, Reggie, I visited the Netherlands a couple of years ago. Actually, I've been there a couple of times. It's where my mother's family comes from. Great, wonderful place to visit. The second visit, there's kind of a funny story. It was a very quick visit. I was flying via the Netherlands, via Schiphol, to London. And I'd worked with an airline and I was flying on some flight benefits, but with an airline partner, and I'd done my own routing and I'd booked it myself. And I'd messed up on my routing a little bit. So I got there and realized that I had, in my hurry to change flights, I had quickly added up numbers and I had a rather longish stay over until my next flight. And I figured, you know what, you've got to be here, an hour before your flight anyhow. But I've still got a few hours. So I just ran out, grabbed the train, went downtown Amsterdam, and had some delicious breakfast downtown Amsterdam and a bit of a walk around the canals. And, then I wandered back to the airport for my trip to London. Yeah, fall's usually the time that I go on holidays and definitely enjoy traveling. One of my last holidays was to England, and I had brought Flat Max with me, which was a flat rendition of Max, and he had gone everywhere checking out everything. So actually, it's been a while. About a year ago, I had changed jobs and I wasn't too sure quite what was happening, so I didn't do any holidays that year. And this year I was planning on going on holidays after contract ended, but when that contract ended, we were in the middle of COVID, so that kind of canceled those plans. So the birds have had me around for quite a while here, but someday we'll be able to travel again, and that'll be kind of fun, won't it, Max? Yeah. Vu asks, where did you go? I used to live in Harlem. I actually went everywhere. I spent when I went to the Netherlands, the first couple of days I just spent in Amsterdam, and then I went to Rotterdam, The Hague, and a number of other locations. Rented a vehicle, did a lot of small towns, a lot of small areas. Yeah, I drove into some of the neighboring countries, and I went down into the area where my mother had grown up, and that was kind of cool. One thing I'd always wanted to see was the Castle Dellenbroek. And I was actually they've now converted it into a hotel, and I was fortunate enough to stay there for a couple of days and base out of there, meet a few relatives. It really was a fantastic trip, but it was very interesting to see the area where my mother had grown up, and also to discover that the Dutch that I had learned from Oma. That's right, buddy, ignore him. The Dutch I'd learned from my Oma, and I knew a little bit of Dutch, and I was trying to be polite, and we've got a couple of yellow and black insects flying about. 4 of them. Okay, I'm not too comfortable with this, but maybe they'll go away. I don't know what just suddenly attracted them. Okay, guys, don't snap at them. Max, leave it alone. I don't know if you guys saw that. He just got buzzed by a wasp. My biggest worry is he's going to snap the wasp, but I'm going to be the one getting stung. But so I was talking about the Netherlands. So when I'd gone there, I'd actually tried using the little bit of Dutch that I knew, and everybody looked at me oddly and was correcting me. it was actually a little bit embarrassing. And I thought, well, you know, I did learn it a number of years ago. Fair enough. So when I visited a couple of relatives, one of the relatives didn't speak any English, an older lady. So I decided, you know, I apologized to the other relatives. I said, my Dutch is atrocious, but I'm going to try and speak what I can. And I thought, you know, the attempt was worthwhile. So I attempted to speak a bit of Dutch. And this lady's eyes really lit up. And she got very excited. She hadn't heard this particular dialect of Dutch since the last time Oma had visited. It was now a dead language. So I know a dead dialect of Dutch. At least a few words in it. Not, you know, not a great deal, but that is the extent of my foreign languages. And, you know, it really was no surprise after I discovered that why nobody could really understand me, except for this one person who thought that it was a completely dead language, and to her surprise, a visitor from Canada spoke a bit of it to her. So that was kind of fun. So PI Girl asks, how did you teach Tico to carve a pumpkin? Like to see it as food or a shredding toy? I've actually got the full story of Pum on YouTube, and I will link to it in stories after this. But what happened, I had been talking to Q, Max's friend Q, another Moluccan cockatoo, and Q enjoys carving pumpkins. So I thought to myself, foolishly, that Max might enjoy carving a pumpkin. So I bought him a pumpkin and I showed it to him and I introduced it to him, and he ignored it. Put it in his cage. He ignored it. I carved a beak into it, so a bit of a wedge to give him a start, stuck the beak into it, set it down. He ignored it. Fine, you know, since he was ignoring it, and Tico was kind of looking into the cage, interested, and I mean, this is over the course of days, I handed Tico the pumpkin's beak. And Tico got very excited about the beak, and he destroyed the beak. He quite enjoyed it. And then since Max wasn't interested, I asked Tico if he wanted the rest of the pumpkin, thinking, you know, I don't know about this. You know, Tico's never seen a pumpkin before either. Well, Tico he got into it and he shredded the entire pumpkin, and it was the most joyful thing to watch. So then I bought him another pumpkin. This pumpkin, he didn't, you know, his beak slid around it, he walked around it, he didn't quite know what to do with it, so I finally stabbed it a couple of times with the paring knife and embedded a few sunflower seeds in it, and this gave him the idea that, hey, look, there's something good. He dug out the sunflower seeds, and the little pokes that I made with the knife made it easy for him to break into the pumpkin. So he broke into the pumpkin and destroyed it. Oh, that's a wasp, Tico. Leave it alone. Yeah, you're a good bird. Thank you for not snapping. Well, that was fun. That wasp came back and just buzzed Tico. And Tico actually fluffed a little bit at it and it decided to take off. As I said earlier, my biggest worry is that the wasp is going to get snapped at by a bird, and I'm going to be the one getting stung, which may not end well. Yeah, Max is busy preening. He's definitely enjoying himself. Feathers everywhere, buddy. It's in here. It's a bit more egg. Bit more egg? No? Past the shell? Nope. Max is definitely not interested right now. Yes, driving is definitely one of the better ways to explore. When I go over, I tend to rent a car, drive on the weird side of the road. When I went to Ireland, I actually rented a motorcycle. That was great fun. Solo tour around Ireland. Got a few weird looks because of the fact that I was traveling solo, especially from the motorcycle rental place. What are you doing, Max? Yes, good bird. Hey, what you doing? Yeah, Max. Max, you look like you might like something else to play with. You want to play with some blocks? I have these blocks on a chain, and I'm just going to, mostly because he's been tossing things a lot lately, and I don't feel like playing a huge game of fetch. There you go. Sometimes when things are chained, he's less likely to toss them or do something silly. Good job. You held on tight. You just missed the toy. I'll shift the chair a little bit. So if you toss these, you'll miss. You want to play again? Ooh, I saw that. I think that one was just a fly buddy. Yeah. So what I did with this toy, some of the blocks he was throwing around, these ones have got a little bit of cockatoo dander on them. He's had this particular toy in the cage. But what I do is I just clip them into one of the baby rings, and that makes a bit of a foot toy for him. He does not really like his blocks as hanging toys. He prefers foot toys. Hanging toy he'll sometimes run away from. It is a parrot-eating monster. But this gives him a little bit of texture, a bit of color to choose from. There you go. I'll put it there so it's there if you want it again, buddy. And clearly it is preening time. So yeah, it's fantastic to see so many people joining us out on the patio today. Max was being a little bit noisy there a few minutes ago, absolutely, but that's okay too. He does do that sometimes. And I mean, it's part of being a bird. You know, you've got to yell, you've got to balk. You know, I'm sure Joy and everybody enjoyed the cluckatoo in the middle there. Always kind of fun. And I'm just going to grab the other device here and check out So Christine says, watch out for those wasps, Max. Be careful. I got stung by a wasp once. It hurt. Absolutely. I'm a little bit phobic of wasps too, so I'm not happy when I see them come to the patio. Thankfully, they don't visit very often. And Max was better behaved than he could have been. I mean, he could have really gotten into trouble with that wasp there. I don't want to see him stung. I don't want to see myself stung. No. But he was just saying, buzz off, you're bothering me. At least we don't have the aphids out here today. A couple of nights ago when we went for a walk, it was just clouds upon clouds of aphids. You know, you didn't need protein with dinner. You could just go for a walk and they would fly right into your mouth. Max was not too happy about that. And Max, when he was doing his bit of a scream fest there, he really does enjoy showing off, but he also got into it with a bit of a flap, and that can be a lot of fun to watch. And unfortunately, a lot of the times he'll flap while holding onto my arm. And then big thing for me is just keeping him from hitting me in the face with one of his wings. Yeah, what you doing, bud? Here. There's some dry pasta in there too. You don't want dry pasta snack? No? No? Okay. That's okay, Max. Hello. And Max, do you hear the magpie in the background? Your feather's a must. Yeah. Oh, I think that one's just out of place because of the harness. Oh, how about I tuck it under there? I know. Yeah, bad feather day with the harness, I tell ya. Oh, no. Oh, hello. And Max. You want pasta show? I knew you'd want one of those. So that's just a dried pasta shell. It's kind of a fun shape. Apparently he just wants to crunch it up and toss them, which is fine. I mean, the birds outside can have them. Here, pick your own. Are you done with all your food? Is there anything else in there? Yeah, it's just... Oh, there's more food in there, bud. Yeah, it's just a little plastic cup from IKEA. It's actually a bowl meant for babies. It means it's food-safe plastic. It's lightweight, so when he flings it at me, it doesn't hurt nearly as much. It doesn't shatter when it hits the ground. Very easily washable. Oh, there's still stuff in there, bud. What are you doing? Hi. Hi, Max. Hello. Hello. Yeah, Max is always pretty happy when he sees people wander past. It's exciting things to see, exciting things to do. He's back at the top of his chair. He's discovered that gives him a really good view of everything that's going on. Plus, he likes being a bit higher than Tico. No sibling rivalry there at all, is there, Max? Yeah. And actually, I see I've got Tico in the shot right now, too. Let me scroll this down a little bit. Yeah. It's good to hear your voice out here, Tico. Max, we're over here. Turn around. Leave that alone. I'm not gonna tell. Yeah, Max can hear the voices of some people in the complex right now. And he's a little bit excited about it, which always is fun. Yeah, earlier you saw him playing with the bowl. He was actually getting into it a little bit with his beak, but I mean, these are cheap and they're toys as well as functional. I'm not too worried about it. Not a big deal if he destroys it, but you could see just how short his attention span really is. He plays with something for a couple of minutes, then he is on to playing with the next thing. And I never know what he is going to do during a stream. It's always a little bit of a surprise. He is being a bit chatty right now, which is great to see. Last stream he was getting a little bit tired and wanted to nap. But I mean, every bird is going to have a different approach and a different attitude. Right, Max? You know, since Tico's moved out of frame, I'm going to come in a little closer on you and see if I can tilt this up a little bit without hitting a button. There we go. All right, Max, maybe a little closer. Yeah. I have to say, running with a tripod is definitely a little bit easier on my arm for a live stream. And Max has not gone after the camera yet. Unlike Einstein this week, I don't know if you guys saw that video clip of Einstein. He went after Marcia's camera, and I mean, he was out to kill that camera. It was quite funny to watch. Guys, before we go, let me check in markers who are watching. Does any birdie have any questions? Max says that he has answers if you guys have some questions. Toss them in the chat. I am keeping an eye on the chat, but we don't seem to have a lot of comments in the chat right now. I'm hoping I didn't... Guys, am I still live, or did I manage to mess something up on the live stream? If you are seeing me live, please let me know. Did you lose a feather, buddy? Oh, here we go. There's the comments. I had to, on my secondary device, I'd exit YouTube and pop back in. So Christine asks, what is Max having for lunch today? Not sure yet. We just had eggs made with corn and peas. We're down to some of the frozen fruits because apart from the pumpkins, most of the fresh produce has been used already, and I'm trying not to go shopping too often. So I haven't decided yet what is for lunch for me. I do have some plain rice in the fridge that I cooked up along with a bit of a curried chicken, and that wasp is back. So I might heat that up, and if I do, Max will get a bit of the rice. When I cook rice for the birds and for myself, I cook it absolutely plain, just rice and water. no salt. I add salt on my own plate, but salt is not good for the flock. Angels asks, do you have any merch? Actually, Angels, yes we do. We've got a store, and I've got a few new designs that I've been meaning to upload. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to... Max, can you remind me, please? Tell me not to be lazy. I'm going to upload those new designs, and we've got all sorts of things, including some shirts and tote bags, even some socks. I think the socks are my favorite, the box socks. And what I think maybe I'll do is upload some of the new designs, and then I will post a link to it in the comments or in stories, just so you guys know where to find it. And you can let me know what you think. There's definitely some fun stuff there. And Max, I mean, gorgeous as ever. Hey Brian, glad to see you here from the Bronx. Angels, oh, what a sweet comment, Angels. Can I just say I adore you guys. I know YouTube is slow to build, but I'll share the channel with bird fan friends of mine. Definitely appreciate it. Every share, every video you watch definitely helps out. We've been on YouTube for a few years now. We initially started off on InstaFlock, and on InstaFlock we have just passed 50,000 followers, which is pretty cool. Okay, you're still in frame. That's good. Oh, yeah, let's shift this around a little bit. Yes, thing's not wanting to rotate. I'm having to rotate the entire unit. There. Let's see. There you go, Max. So we've hit 50,000 there. So I mean, I know Max is popular. I know people love watching him, and we'll get there. But definitely, anything you do when you're sharing posts, sharing videos from this channel. I mean, if you click share on your social media and share off a video and say, hey, this is fun, you should go watch. I mean, all of that stuff really helps out. Every new viewer, I mean, each and every flocker matters to us. And we are so, so glad to have each and every one of you. And Christine says that she's from New York City, Queens. So we've got the Bronx and Queens here. Hi, Cheryl. Piper asks, what is Max's favorite toy? And Max's favorite toy is going to depend a little bit on his mood at the time. He has many favorites, and sometimes what's his favorite for 10 minutes is not his favorite 10 minutes later. Currently, one of his favorites is throwing blocks out of a box onto the ground. He definitely loves unpacking that box. And I mean, hey, if it gives him joy, I'll happily clean up after him. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl says she shared on her Discord channel. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah. So, guys, we are coming up to the top of the hour. Max, can we get a final buck from you? Can we get a buck? Buck. Can we get a buck? Can we get a buck from you? That was a buy. Can we get a buck? Max, buck. That's right. All right, guys, I'd like to thank every birdie for joining us. There we go. I'm going to go to handheld again. And Max is definitely going to go back to a little bit of preening. So, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. Really, really appreciate it. And I hope every birdie has an absolutely wonderful week. Next week, same time, same place. Well, we might be indoors. It'll depend a little bit on the weather. But from Tico and there's Tico right there, and from Max right here, hope everybody has a fantastic week. And Tico wishes all of you many, many pums. Bye.